Demolition of part of the White House's East Wing has begun. This is where the president is planning to build a new state ballroom. He said it won't cost taxpayers any money. Sources tell CBS News multiple companies have made pledges of millions of dollars to fund it. And the other standout footage from where you are, Nancy, is this construction for the White House ballroom and the demolition of such a famous building that is cherished by so many. Can you help us understand why we're seeing this demolition, considering the president said it would actually add to existing structures, this new ballroom?
This was a bit of a surprise to many, especially the scope of the demolition that you're looking at. That is the historic East Wing of the White House. Back in July, when President Trump was talking about this ballroom project initially, he said that the ballroom wasn't even actually going to be touching the East Wing, so nothing there would change. But then a couple of days ago, he reversed that. He said that they were going to be pulling part of it down and that they were going to be remodeling it and that it would be better than before when it's all completed. So, you know, this project is moving very quickly, and there's definitely some confusion for outsiders about what exactly is staying and what exactly is going. But this is a project that the president insists is being funded by private donors to the tune of about $250 million, and that it is going to be a whopping 90,000 square feet, this ballroom, when it's completed, capable of holding about 1,000 people and rivaling the size of the White House itself.
Wow. Nancy Cordes, keep your hard hat close by. Thanks for the update. We appreciate it.
Welcome to Pushback Channel. Today we are sounding yet again another alarm. The alarm is the fact that the American legal system is allowing Donald Trump to destroy the White House with the construction of his 80s-style gaudy ballroom. It is our belief at the Pushback Network that a lawsuit urgently needs to be filed immediately to stop what can only be described as the most audacious act of lawless vandalism in modern American history: the destruction of the East Wing of the White House, an historical building under Donald Trump. What's happening right now is almost unimaginable. A sitting president has brought in bulldozers, cranes, and demolition crews, ripping apart one of the most historically sacred buildings in the United States. And no one is stopping him. Not Congress, not the courts, not the preservation commissions whose sole job is to prevent exactly this kind of desecration. Not even the so-called big boys law firms, even if it is the last thing they do. For God's sake, someone stop this man. There is no other country in the world worth its salt where something like this could happen. In Britain, you can't even repaint a window frame at Buckingham Palace without layers of heritage approval. In France, the Louvre's walls are protected by centuries of preservation law. But here, in the United States of America, the so-called beacon of democracy, a rogue president is tearing down part of the people's house, and the nation just looks away. This isn't just a scandal, it's a constitutional crisis in real time. Under Article 1, the power of the purse belongs to Congress. Only Congress can authorize spending or approve federal construction projects. The president has no power to divert funds or substitute them with private money to reshape government property, least of all the White House itself. It's also a blatant violation of Historic Preservation Acts and the National Capital Planning Act, which requires a full public process before any major structural alteration to a federal landmark. No such process happened. Then there's the Emoluments Clause, the Ethics Statutes, and the National Environmental Policy Act, all being shredded in plain sight. Yet everyone just looks on. He has abrogated powers to himself that are more than any king could wish for. The real kings all over the Western world has no power to do 10% of what Trump is doing to us here in America. In Britain, Norway, or the Netherlands, where they still have real kings, none of them dare do what Trump is doing. But here's where the story turns from shocking to obscene. Donald Trump has lied at every single step of this so-called White House ballroom project. When the story first broke, Trump tried to downplay the scale. He told the media, "It won't interfere with the current building. It'll be near it, not touching it. It pays total respect to the existing building, which I love." That was lie number one.
It won't interfere with the current building. It'll be near it, but not touching it. and pays total respect to the existing building, which I'm the biggest fan of. It's my favorite. It's my favorite place. I love it.
We now have visual proof. Cranes ripping into the East Wing structure, the facade collapsing, columns gone, the historic masonry being pulverized. It's not near the White House. It is the White House. Then came lie number 2. On Fox News, Trump bragged that the entire project, a $250 million golden ballroom, would be funded by him personally. He said, maybe one donor. Me, I'll pay for it myself. That was lie number 2, and it was a big one.
How many donors do you think it's going to take to get the $200 million?
Maybe one, me. But
You would cut that check yourself?
I would, yeah.
Because within weeks, that story changed. In early August, reporters filmed Trump standing on the roof of the White House, telling cameras, it's my money I'm spending, my way of giving back to the country. He wanted everyone to believe this was his personal gift to America. That was lie number 3.
Mr. President, why are you going up there?
Take a little walk.
How
are you going for it? Good for your health.
Are you going to move up
I
there?
do.
What does that mean?
What do you? 4 ways to spend my money.
Can you give us another thing?
We'll show you. It's just another way to spend my money for the country. Anything I do is financed by me, so you're not where it's contributed. Just like my salary is contributed, but nobody ever mentioned.
Because by September, Trump was quietly holding private fundraising events inside the White House, inviting billionaires and corporate executives, offering them a deal, $25 million each to have their names etched into the walls of the new East Wing ballroom. Imagine that, a pay-to-play naming rights scheme inside the White House. He literally said it at one of these gatherings. It doesn't take too many 25s to get it done. The crowd laughed. Think about what that means. For $25 million, a corporation or foreign oligarch could have their name inscribed inside America's most sacred government building. That's not renovation. That's monetizing democracy.
And we'll be able to have state dinners, the kind we would literally not even have state dinners because it's not set up. But for all those years, they wanted it, and now they're going to get it. And because of you, they're going to get it. And me too. We're all in this together. And I mean, I have so many friends, and so many of you have been really, really generous. I mean, a couple of you, I'm sitting here saying, sir, would $25 million be appropriate? I said, I'll take it. You know, it doesn't take too many 25s to get it done. But, a lot of you have been really fantastic. Ike, thank you very much. You were great. You were great, Ike Perlmutter.
And when asked by a reporter whether he'd block foreign donations, Trump replied, honestly, I never even thought of it. Of course, that is his classic answer for anything that he will end up doing. If I get a cent for every time that Trump used that phrase, I never thought about it, only to end up doing that very thing that he claimed never to have thought about, I would be a very rich man. Remember when he was asked about Ghislaine Maxwell if he would pardon her? What was his answer? Well, there's no price for guessing, but guess what? He would end up pardoning her to keep his secret safe. Everyone knows that. Even his Republican followers knows that. How they could stoop so low and shred every ounce of decency they ever had to follow such an immoral and fantastically corrupt man is beyond me. Remember what Trump later said? But it doesn't matter. I'm putting up my money. That was lie number 4, because clearly he's not. Journalists later uncovered that the one donor myth was a front for a private donor network, American and foreign money, flowing through Trump-aligned PACs and shell foundations. It's exactly the kind of emoluments violation the framers of the Constitution feared. Foreign powers and corporations buying influence by funding the president's personal projects. It's like, no, it's not like. Trump is daring Americans. With every passing day, Trump is telling Americans that I can do what I want and no one can do a damn thing about it. The short-sightedness that Republicans are having now is mind-blowing. Do Republicans seriously believe that they will rule forever? Do they really believe that Trump will skew the system in favor of Republicans so much that Democrats will never win the White House again? And America will become a one-party state? Unless that is their belief, they will be in for a rude awakening. I personally will only support a Democrat for presidency who is prepared to dish it out as much as we have gotten under Trump. Any other Democrat that is bringing a knife to a guns fight should fall back. Enough is enough. Meanwhile, the Trump-appointed head of the National Capital Planning Commission, the very board responsible for approving or denying such federal construction, suddenly declared that his own commission had no jurisdiction over the demolition. That's like the head of the fire department saying they don't deal with fires. Geez, what planet are we living on again? Every law that should have stopped this, the National Capital Planning Act, the Environmental Policy Act, the Historic Preservation Act, is being ignored. Every legal safeguard is being bypassed, and that's why we're calling on you. Don't just watch this happen. Join the Pushback Network. Subscribe to Pushback Network right now. Like this video. Share it. It is completely free, but by just that simple act of clicking the subscribe button, you give us a voice to speak and defend democracy. Be loud, be heard. Because silence is complicity. If we don't defend the rule of law and the preservation of our nation's history, no one will. Pushback Network recently came into existence because of what Trump is doing to our country. We have to fight against authoritarian power with truth and evidence, and this is the moment to act. Subscribe now. Let's fight this fight together as a community. Now let's go deeper, because this isn't just about architecture. It's about power, money, and corruption. Back on September 19, 2025, CBS and Bloomberg reported that donors who contributed between $5 million and $25 million to the project would have their names permanently inscribed inside the new ballroom. Other media outlet sources confirm that some of those donors are CEOs of corporations currently seeking federal contracts. That's a quid pro quo in its purest form, a transactional exchange of money for political access. Even the National Park Service, which by law must review any modification to White House grounds, has been kept in the dark. Insiders describe the project as operating off the books, using unapproved contractors and nighttime construction hours to avoid documentation. Legal experts have identified at least 8 separate statutes being violated. 1. National Capital Planning Act, requiring review of major federal alterations. 2. Committee for the Preservation of the White House Establishment Act, ignored. 3. National Environmental Policy Act, NEPA, no environmental impact statement filed. 4. Ethics in Government Act, conflicts of interest and donor influence. 5. Federal Election Campaign Act, misuse of political funds. 6. D.C. Municipal Historic Preservation Code, adjacent property impact ignored. 7. Appropriations, clause of Article 1, unconstitutional spending substitution. 8. Emoluments, clause of Article 2, potential foreign influence through donations. Each of these laws exists for a reason. Each was created after past abuses of power. Watergate, Teapot Dome, Nixon's slush funds, and each is being defied in plain sight. And yet no law firm has filed the injunction. No state attorney general has demanded discovery. The Department of Justice, silent. The National Park Service, silent. Congress, paralyzed. What is wrong with these law firms? Are you all so scared you have all become toothless dogs? At least file a lawsuit to stop the work. Tie down any construction work. Take it all the way to the Supreme Court. Let the right-wing Supreme Court give the order for the construction, but in God's name, do something. Trump has learned that if you commit a crime big enough, if it's large, loud, and shameless, the system freezes. The scale of corruption becomes its own protection. That's what's happening here. He said it wouldn't touch the building. Lie. He said he'd pay for it himself. Lie. He said there'd be no foreign money. Lie. He said the construction had approval. Lie. He said it was for the people. Lie. And as the marble falls and history collapses, the truth is laid bare. This isn't a renovation. It's a hostile takeover of America's symbols. Because when a president can rewrite preservation law, override Congress, solicit billionaire donations for his personal vanity project, and carve their names into the walls of the White House, then democracy itself becomes a brand to be sold. There's still time to fight this, but not much. The legal roadmap is already there. File for injunctive relief under the National Capital Planning Act. Seek emergency relief under NEPA. Demand a stay through D.C. Historic Preservation Review. Challenge unconstitutional spending under the Appropriations Clause. The laws exist. The evidence exists. The only thing missing is the will to act. So here's the message for every law firm, historian, preservationist, and patriot listening. Do something. File the suit. Make history defend itself. Because if we don't, the next regime will think they can bulldoze not just the East Wing, but the Constitution itself. This is the fight of our time. Not just for policy, but for principle. The truth still matters. The law still matters. And the White House, the people's house, still belongs to us. So keep pushing back. Keep the pressure on. Subscribe, like, share to keep this channel alive. It is completely free. We don't have the kind of money that corporate media has. So keep us alive by subscribing, liking, and sharing. And never let authoritarian power rewrite our history with a wrecking ball. This is Pushback Network, where truth hits harder. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening.